Hello, friends, Romans, countrymen. Friends, Romans, and countrymen. Where'd that one come? Is that a Shakespeare line? I hope. Yeah, it did some Shakespeare. Yay. Mm. So, it is. It is. February 15th. Crap. Yeah, February 15th. That's like 12:30 in the afternoon, Eastern Standard Time. I'm here at Chester County Airport, southeastern Pennsylvania, on a gorgeous day. My gosh, man. This is like the kind of weather you expect in Arizona during the winter time, not in southeastern Pennsylvania. No, no. Mm. My friend, the over-the-road truck driver that works for Ramp Master, I don't know if you can, let's see if we can see his truck. Yeah, you can see his truck there, right? Interesting guy and an interesting business. It's fascinating when you talk to people that have their own business, that started their own business, and they've gone more than 5 years. He's been doing it for 20 some odd years, and now he has one customer, just this Ramp Master guy, and he specializes in oversized loads, over the road oversized loads, like these huge tankers that airports use to refuel airplanes. That's the nature of this business here, and the nature of the trucker. He picks them up here and mostly drives them Midwest to West. He drives a lot to Louisville, Kentucky from here. That's the international headquarters for UPS. I'd like to talk briefly about my presentation. I'm a little surprised that I had as many viewers as we did for the Satan, God, opposite sides of the same coin, yin yang. What's different? What's the same? Are things that are opposite in nature, can they be the same? Can things be very different yet the same? And that's the conundrum, if you want to use that word. I'm not crazy about that word either. There's a conflict inside of me that has to do with Satan and God, right? What's good? What's bad? What's evil? What's nefarious? What's benevolent? Is benevolence a sign of weakness? Now, this is something I've really struggled with. Is benevolence a sign of weakness, where people are going to be able to take advantage of you, of your good nature, or is it being a Christian? A good question, and that's a tough, difficult thing to determine, especially as a man. Men got to be strong, and they got to be able to flex their muscles and beat the other guy up. I've been on both sides of that equation, and it's never good. Well, the one fight that I won was pretty good. The one where I beat my father. He beat me as when I was 5 years old. There was this culture of violence that was kind of entrenched in our culture after World War II. And I was born in 1951, and the accepted tradition was, whatever number was your birthday, that's the number of times you get hit. So if you're 5 years old, everybody comes around and hits you 5 times. But my father took that to an extreme, and my 5th birthday, I can remember not being able, just because it was my birthday. I couldn't sit down the rest of the day after he was finished with me. That happened a number of times. I don't really blame him, though, because you can get brainwashed into thinking a certain way. He was a warrior, and a life and death situation warrior. A good amount of his tour of duty in North Africa, kill or be killed. You put a guy into a kill or be killed situation, and you tell him to go kill, 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 and then you bring him home when it's all done, and you say, okay, be nice, just sit down there, sip on your tea, sip on your beer, be a nice guy. It doesn't work that way. You get all revved up to kill or be killed, and then you come home to this pacifist thing. My father adjusted to it pretty well, but I guess where I'm going with this is, good and evil, bad and good, and, violence, benevolence, malevolence, benevolence. That's a nice word. I like just the way it sounds, benevolent. I like that. And does that mean I'm weak or that I'm a sissy? Some people interpret it that way. I struggle with it. That's the topic of this situation. So I was trying to think of more things that are different yet the same. Okay, well, the most obvious one, obviously, are the different races in the human species, in the human race. There's all kinds of species, or all kinds of ethnicities from all over the world, and religions and everything else. So what do I have in common with a Muslim in Pakistan or a Russian, both on the other side of the planet? Those poor, unfortunate Southeast Asian people, and it just seems like the rest of the world, the populations want to be like us, but they don't want to pay the price, to overthrow a government that's totalitarian. And look at what happened to our government on January 6th. It's just, I still can't believe that happened, that we let that happen. But anyway, so same and different. Yeah, I'm different than the Muslims and the Shinto and the Buddhists, and I'm different from all of them. And I'm not like a crazy fanatical Christian either. For me, it helps me try to be the kind of person that I want to be. It's very difficult. The same but different. So I'm different from all those other ethnicities. Jewish, Hebrew, of course Catholicism, religions. I'm not sure exactly what popular religion was in Africa. I guess it's Islam. Okay, so and I'm not Islam. I don't believe any of that violent rhetoric that's coming out of the Quran. I didn't really see that. I got through part of the Quran, but I just kind of, it's difficult to follow, difficult reading for me. Okay, so I'm different from all those other people, right? Significantly different, but we're the same. How's that possible? We're human beings. We're human beings. We're all human beings. We start with the same common denominator. And like Tim Draper said, I know I mentioned him a lot, and he's very wealthy, venture capitalist. He's done very well. It's not too, when you hear him talk, it's not too hard to figure out. He's got a sharp mind, a really sharp mind, and he knows what he's looking for. He knows how to interact with people too. But his motto is, everybody's got to travel. You're not going to have resentment or any kind of animosity towards other cultures if you go out there and meet them. And then you find out, hey, this is cool. I didn't understand exactly what the people were like in this culture, but now that I'm involved in the culture, it's kind of cool. Although I sense some resentment sometimes when I'm in a minority. I'm hanging in a minority group of some kind. There's some resentment to me because I'm a Caucasian, because I'm white, and I'm not going to try to understand it, because if somebody sizes me up and doesn't even know me, they're really they're on another planet. So anyway, the same but different. So Satan and God, the same but different, in my opinion. Matter of fact, they could be the same actual being, with not a split personality, but a dual purpose, the purpose of God/Satan. I wonder how you can combine those two words. Sod? No. Gaten? No. God and Satan. I have to think about that one. But God, doesn't necessarily mean G-O-O-D, good. It doesn't. I'm convinced that it doesn't. Uh, the kind of predatory uh, existence that most animals live in this world, uh, and the brutality of that, and the suffering that so many of them go through, it's just part of God's plan. That's not good enough, as far as I'm concerned. To me, it looks like an logarithm of some kind, like some advanced culture species here, millions of years ago, got this thing started with some kind of a logarithm. Now, I don't know. Getting to this age, it's amazing to me how little I know about existence. It's not something that it's easy to understand. It's something that can be very difficult. I see my man Jim Murphy just came back to his truck. He left these truck drivers. They'll leave their trucks running and then go somewhere else. They idle. These diesel engines can idle all day long, I guess. I'd be glad when they're gone, man. It's an all-electric fleet out there. Thank you, Elon. So, yeah, yin and yang. I guess I got to look more into that, because that's the classic thing. But there's so many things that are the same but opposite, up and down. Well, how are they the same? Because it's an extreme, opposite, or it's okay. How's up and down? How are they different, or how are they the same? Okay, so if I go down, I'm standing here on Earth, and I go down, I go into Earth, right? And if I keep going down, I'll come out on the other side of Earth, China. And then if I keep going down from China, I'll be going up, right? If I go through the Earth and I emerge on the other side of the Earth in China, and I poke my head out of a hole, and I say, hey, I'm still going up, aren't I? They say, yeah, if you come out of the hole, you're going up. Or I'm still going down, excuse me. I'm still going down. Yeah, not really. From here you go up, because you're in China. Okay, so then if I'm standing on the Earth here, and I go up, and I aim for the moon, and I land on the moon, and I keep going in the same direction, I go through the moon, now I'm going down into the moon. That's an extreme, that's a crazy kind of like fringe example of two things being the same and different at the same time. And I really believe that God and Satan are the same being. I'm after what's happened in my life, and you can believe in coincidence if you want, and to a point. But coincidence is a rarity, and it's unlikely. Well, coincidence means there was no plan to it; it just kind of happened. Miracles that have happened in my life, I just can't get my head around them being coincidences. It's just not. There are too many tripwires that had to happen for me to enjoy the benefits of these three miracles that I'm thinking about, and maybe four miracles. Definitely three. Getting my cottage, getting my house, getting my own home and house, like days before I was going to be homeless. It's just impossible that happened. Getting the career at Bell, just out of the world of possibility, yet it happened. So, miracles. Miracles are a good way to determine the validity or the veracity of my theory of God and Satan being the same being. If a miracle happens, and again, keep in mind, they can go both ways. Okay? People think of a miracle, oh, it's great, it's terrific, it's wonderful. Not always. I mean, there can be contexts and circumstances that make it not so great. A miracle is something that affects the direction, for me, okay, maybe different for you, affects the direction of your life in a positive way. And that's happened to me several times that just blew me away. And then it went the other way, bad, which was recently. And so, okay, God giveth, God taketh away. There's the Christian. The Christian, they got it covered. Whatever scenario you come up with, they got something out of the Bible that'll explain it. God giveth and God taketh away. It's different for everybody, though, isn't it? Some people, God giveth and He doesn't taketh away. Why would that be? Who knows? Who knows? Peace, y'all.